There are times when someone holds themselves together to save everyone around them, yet feels completely powerless in the face of the cracks within their own mind. And this week in Emmerdale, Paddy Kirk is falling back into that same dangerous darkness. Paddy has spent the past while keeping himself busy by focusing on other people. He has thrown his energy into supporting his dad, and then into being there for Dylan Penders to help him through his struggles. But now that things are reaching their limit and there is very little more he can actually do for either of them, Paddy is forced to turn inward and face himself. And for him, that is the most dangerous place to be. Paddy is the kind of person whose mind slips into dark places the moment he has too much time to think. While out on bail, he has been suspended from work, and work was exactly the thing that used to stop him from dwelling on his own problems. Rona Goskirk seems to understand that, which is probably why she takes pity on him and lets him help at reception, handling admin tasks at the surgery, so he still has something to cling to. But with his head still clouded and fragile, a mistake is almost inevitable. Paddy tries to help a client and her cat when he should not have stepped in at all. When it all goes wrong, he is in no state to cope with Vanessa's disappointment or Rona's harsh words. For Paddy, even a small setback is enough to shake him badly right now. So this lands directly on the most vulnerable part of him that he has been trying so hard to hide. To make things even worse, his court date arrives at exactly the wrong moment. The legal pressure suddenly becomes very real, as if all his fears have finally taken solid form. Even while he is clearly starting to fall apart, Paddy still slips back into the role he knows best, supporting Dylan, encouraging other people, and pretending he is still coping. But the more he tries to be someone else's support system, the more obvious it becomes that he is running on empty. There is one rare moment of light when Eve shows off one of her drawings, and it includes the whole family, Dylan as well. It is a warm and touching image, almost like a reminder to Paddy that he still belongs to something loving and worthwhile. But that comfort does not last long. Later, when Paddy returns to the vets, he spots the bolt gun. In an instant, the trauma comes flooding back. Not long ago, that same gun was in his hand when he was preparing to end his own life. Everything he had tried to bury deep inside himself suddenly resurfaces at once. Paddy panics, runs from the surgery, and heads straight to his best friend's house for comfort. The moment Marlon sees him, he knows something is badly wrong. One look is enough. Paddy is no longer the man Marlon had seen earlier, but more like a shadow of him, drained, shaken, and utterly lost. Marlon immediately pulls him into a hug, because sometimes words mean nothing, and the only thing left to do is stay close before someone slips too far under. At this point, Paddy is being consumed by fear over the court case. He can see only the worst-case scenario, only the bleakest possible outcome. Marlon tries to pull him back from that spiral, but even he understands that there is very little anyone can say in a moment like this that will genuinely make it better, especially when the worst outcome is still entirely possible. So Marlon changes his approach. He stops trying to fix things with words and turns instead to distraction. He takes Paddy to Celia's farm with 2 sledgehammers and plans to smash the place to pieces. It sounds reckless, but it becomes a raw, desperate, and strangely honest release of emotion. The only problem is that it works almost too well, because as the 2 men destroy the house, they also find themselves sinking deeper into all the thoughts they have been holding back. That moment is not just about anger. For Marlon, it becomes the point where all the helplessness, guilt, and pain tied to everything April and his family have suffered finally erupts. The kitchen table they smash is no longer just a piece of furniture. It feels like the center of so much damage, so many cruel conversations, so many decisions that ruined lives. And the more they destroy, the more it feels as though they are confronting the things they were never able to stop. This is clearly a deeply painful sequence for both Paddy and Marlon, because it shows just how strong their friendship really is, while also exposing how much unresolved trauma both of them are still carrying. Paddy is not only afraid of the court case. What is even more frightening is that he is being dragged back toward the darkest point in his life, the place where suicidal thoughts once nearly took over. And Marlon, even though he stands there as Paddy's anchor, is clearly releasing his own buried pain as well. Right now, Paddy feels like he is standing on an incredibly fragile edge. On one side, he still has people who love him, and he still has Marlon, someone perceptive enough to recognize the danger in a single glance. On the other side, old trauma has been triggered again. The legal fear is growing heavier, and his mental state is far too weak to take many more blows. If nobody holds on to him tightly enough, this fall could be even worse than the last one. It seems very likely that the next episodes will go even deeper into Paddy's psychological state, because every sign suggests he has not escaped the danger at all. He has only been surviving it day by day. Marlon's choice to pull him outward through companionship and emotional release may stop him from collapsing for now, but it still may not be enough to fully silence the darkness inside him. And that is exactly what makes this storyline feel so heavy. If you are also following Paddy's haunting journey in Emmerdale, make sure to subscribe so you do not miss the latest developments and deeper breakdowns in the episodes ahead.